And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Roster Report. This is Making Money Fridays, where you and I get together to talk about how we resist being exploited. Today's date is Friday, the 20th day of December, the last day of summer. Year 2024 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6264 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we realign our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, and livinginablack.com. It is a pleasure to be with you today. Making Money Fridays. I hope that you do take this Making Money Friday mission of ours seriously. We're being exploited, horribly, terribly exploited from so many different directions, from the rising costs of household supplies, rent, housing, food, gasoline, healthcare. Today on LIB Radio, our focus is on the topic of, wait a minute, I had it up and it just disappeared. Bear with me, I'll have to open this window right back up. I just hit a wrong button. Today, the topic is corporate war against the middle class. Today on LIB Radio, our Making Money Fridays segment looks at the widespread public revolts that are taking place. We look at the Amazon workers' strike for better pay and working conditions, a similar strike against Starbucks for their anti-union activities, the rise of the Trump-Musk partnership that threatens to gut many aspects of government responsibility for the well-being of the middle class, and the impact of the murder of the United Healthcare CEO and the huge numbers of insurance claims rejections that people have experienced. World War V, the People's Rebellion. As you know, I am writing this book, Disaster Preparedness for World Wars V and VI. And so therefore, what we are examining today is, I claim, evidence of World War V taking place. There is a lot we put on the table today. Let's take these in order that I listed them, if you don't mind. And I've got a lot of things on the table, bear with me, because I've been doing research on the impact of nicotinamide and pyroxidine on stem cell integrity. I was spent a good deal of work on that. I just love this idea of stem cells. I am working hard to finish up this book on disaster preparedness for World Wars V and VI. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get that book to the printer this month. I am waiting for copies for distribution to return from the book just completed, Living Superfood Solutions. Bear with me. A little extra cayenne pepper made it into the drink this morning, and then it goes down the wrong hole. But we're here. That's the way it is, live radio. So let's go into a little bit more about this Amazon issue. The Amazon workers' strike, I think, is a significant news story. Let's go to abcnews.go.com. The article is entitled Teamsters Say Momentum Continues as Christmas Time Strike Against Amazon Enters the Second Day. Story written by Jack Moore and Kevin Shalvey. And in fact, I don't want to share the screen. I'll just go ahead and just read what the story says. As the Teamsters cross-country Christmas time strike against Amazon enters its second day on Friday, the union said that momentum continues to mount. Whoa, sorry about that. The union says the momentum continues to mount as workers seek fair treatment from the online retailer. The Amazon Teamsters movement grows bigger and stronger every day and will not be stopped. Excuse me, that cayenne pepper is working its way out. I use cayenne every day because it moves the mucus, helps to keep the immune system homeostatic and balanced. And I'll just remember, do not breathe while drinking tea. Workers affiliated with the Teamsters began striking at Amazon facilities across the country early Thursday. The union said thousands of workers were walking off their jobs at facilities in New York City, Atlanta, Southern California, San Francisco, and Illinois, but did not provide specific numbers. Teamsters President Sean M. O'Brien is expected to join a picket line in California's City of Industry on Friday, the union said. Amazon said the strike was not expected to impact operations and claimed the strikes were being attended by outside organizers. Kelly Nantel, Director of Global Corporate Issues and Media Relations at Amazon, said the company had not seen an impact on deliveries. Thankfully, the vast majority of our employees and the drivers who deliver on our behalf came to work today to do what they do every day, Nantel said on Thursday. They're doing a great job of working for their customers and their communities, and as a result of their hard work. And 1 second, I'm going to get this cleared. They're doing a great job of working for their customers and their communities, and as a result of their hard work. The strike, which the Teamsters referred to as the largest strike in history, arrived during the busiest shopping season of the year, less than a week before Christmas. In addition, the Teamsters said local unions were also picketing hundreds of Amazon fulfillment centers nationwide. Overall, nearly 9,000 Amazon workers across 20 bargaining units have affiliated with a powerful Teamsters union. According to the union, striking workers represent less than 1% of the company's 1.5 million employees worldwide, including 800,000 in the United States. The National Labor Relations Board officially certified the union representing workers, but Amazon has appealed that ruling. The union said Amazon ignored a Sunday deadline for contract negotiations to begin. Quote, if your package is delayed during the holidays, you can blame Amazon's insatiable greed, unquote, O'Brien said in a statement. And said in a statement Thursday announcing the strike, we gave Amazon a clear deadline to come to the table and do right by our members. They ignored it. In a statement to ABC News, an Amazon spokesperson said the Teamsters illegally coerced workers to join the union. The company in a statement described the people walking the picket lines as, quote, almost entirely outsiders, not Amazon employees or partners, unquote. They continue, the truth is that the Teamsters were unable to get enough support from our employees and partners, have brought in outsiders to come and harass and intimidate our team, which is inappropriate and dangerous, Amazon said. We appreciate all our team's great work to serve their customers and communities and are continuing to focus on getting customers their holiday orders. Amazon's market cap is $2.35 trillion. Shares of the retailer ticked up $2.77 on Thursday, climbing about 1.26%. The stock was down about 2% in pre-market trading on Friday. Now, here's the thing. We have heard so many stories about Amazon workers on food stamps. I'm just pulling that story up. Stories about Amazon workers on food stamps. According to various studies and reports, Amazon warehouse workers in the United States face significant economic challenges. Let me move the screen here, including food insecurity and housing insecurity. Here are some key findings. Food insecurity. A 2024 study by the University of Illinois Chicago Center for Urban Economic Development found that 53% of Amazon workers surveyed experienced one or more forms of food insecurity in the prior 3 months. 48% experienced one or more forms of housing insecurity. Government assistance. The same study revealed that a third of survey respondents reported using government-funded programs, primarily food stamps or Medicaid, in the last 3 months. Amazon workers, low wages. Despite Amazon's median U.S. employee wage increasing to $45,613 in 2023, many warehouse workers still struggle to make ends meet. The survey found that most respondents reported wages between $16 and $20 an hour. 16% of workers who joined Amazon earned more than they did at their previous employer, but 65%, I think I said that right, 65% who joined said they earned more than they did at their previous employer, but 13 reported receiving a promotion during their time at Amazon. 4, injuries and unpaid time off. The study also highlighted the impact of injuries on workers' economic security. Workers who took unpaid time off due to injuries were more likely to report trouble paying their bills. And 5, comparison to other employees. Amazon's struggles with food and housing insecurity are not unique to the company. A 2020 analysis by the U.S. Government Accountability Office found that Amazon was among the biggest employers of people receiving food assistance in 9 states that reported the data. These findings suggest that Amazon warehouse workers, despite being employed by one of the world's largest and most profitable companies, still face significant economic challenges, including food and housing insecurity. And I'll say this much, this is not exclusive to Amazon employees, although they are in strike. And from my perspective, I believe we should be supporting unions, union action, striking workers. Yes, the unions have a long history of corruption, no doubt about that. Long history of corruption, and we, in this day and era of corporate greed and malice and abuse of the working middle class, the union bosses are going to have to accept some responsibility for the dire shape that their people are in. Another company that is, I believe, guilty of the same thing is Starbucks. And now this is the season where a lot of you, not me, get really, really happy about Starbucks and their exotic coffees, et cetera, et cetera. Let me just pull up that story. And just real quickly, I'm looking for Starbucks workers strike. Starbucks workers strikes. Let's go to NPR for this story. Now, this story is from 2023 from National Public Radio, dated November 16, 2023. So just a little bit over a year ago. This is from the Associated Press. Thousands of Starbucks workers go on a one-day strike on one of the chain's busiest days. Workers at more than 2,000, here, bear with me, workers at more than 2,000 workers at more than 200 U.S. Starbucks locations walked off the job Thursday in what organizers said was the largest strike yet in a 2-year-old effort to unionize the company's stores. The Workers United Union chose Starbucks' annual Red Cup Day to stage the walkout, since it's usually one of the busiest days of the year. Starbucks expects to give away thousands of reusable cups Thursday to customers who order holiday drinks. And just before I continue the story, I have reported on these Starbucks holiday drinks for years. And of course, this is the season when people are ordering up a $6 or more. I don't know how much they cost because I've never bought one. Holiday drink from Starbucks. And the amount of sugar that are in those drinks is obscene. It's obscene. That's the only word I can use without cussing. The sugar, up to 57 and more grams of sugar in one drink. That's like a 4-day RDA, recommended daily allowance of sugar. And people are doing that every day, every morning. They think it's a treat to bring these things. And we wonder why the country has such health problems related to acute and chronic inflammation. We wonder why the nation has such a problem with the increasing percentage of the population impacted by overweight and obesity. It's because your holidays celebrate this gluttony. I don't do it. Many of you who listen to my program, I know that you don't do it because you know what the impact of doing this is. So going back to the story, this story is again from NPR, the story entitled, "Thousands of Starbucks Workers Go on a One-Day Strike on One of the Chain's Busiest Days." So going forward, the union was expecting more than 5,000 workers to take part in its Red Cup rebellion. Workers were expected to picket for part of the day and visit non-union stores the rest of the day. The union said around 30 stores also staged walkouts on Wednesday. Juniper Schweitzer, who has worked for Starbucks for 16 years, said she loves the company and its ideals, but believes it's not living up to them. "They have promised the world to us, and they have not delivered," said Schweitzer, who was picketing outside her Chicago store on Thursday. Frequent promotions like Red Cup Day or buy one, get one free offers put added stress on workers, she said, who have no ability to switch off mobile orders or otherwise control the workflow. I mean, you can imagine the Starbucks orders. Decaf Grande, non-fat, 3.5 Splenda Mocha with no whip. Multiply that by 100 and you have just drink, 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 she says. We have basically an infinite amount of drinks, and we're understaffed, and we're underpaid, and we're sick of it. We have basically an infinite amount of drinks, and we're understaffed and we're underpaid and we're sick of it. Edwin Palmasolis, a Starbucks employee for more than 2 years, joined the picket line Thursday in front of his New York store. His store voted to unionize last year, but so far, Starbucks and the union haven't started bargaining. He thinks a contract would help improve working conditions at his busy Manhattan store. He said, "It's been more of a downgrade than an uphill for us. It's been exhausting trying to deal with their retaliation and not much of a change that has been made in the last year," he said. So, last paragraph, Thursday strike was the fifth major labor action by Starbucks workers since a store in Buffalo, New York became the first to unionize in late 2021. Workers at 110 stores walked out last year on Red Cup Day. Most recently, a strike in June protested reports that Starbucks had removed pride displays from its stores. Well, that takes it that takes a whole new twist on it. Let's go to just a little bit. I put in the prompt for AI and it came up with a response: Starbucks workers on food stamps. Based upon the provided search results, here are some key points and insights about Starbucks workers on food stamps. First point, EBT acceptance. Some Starbucks locations, particularly those inside grocery stores, may accept electronic benefits transfer EBT cards, which food stamps, which are used for food stamp benefits. However, this varies by state and location. Food stamp eligibility, according to USDA, coffee drinks, no, I'm talking about workers. They're talking about buying that stuff they put in a cup. I'm not interested in that stuff they put in a cup. Point 3, Starbucks workers' experiences. Some Starbucks baristas and employees have shared their personal experiences and opinions on Reddit, stating that they themselves qualify for food stamps due to their low incomes. They argue that people on food stamps should be able to enjoy treats, including Starbucks coffee, as a way to improve their quality of life. No, 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 BF, no. Those Starbucks holiday drinks and all of them exotic, that stuff's not good for your health. Coffee itself is a source of acrylamide, a known carcinogen. So come on, people. Our Starbucks employees, we should be able to enjoy treats like this as well. You got it wrong. You got it absolutely wrong. What I'm drinking right now, green tea with rooibos, sweetened with wild desert honey. It's got turmeric, cinnamon, cayenne, ginger, coconut oil in it. I didn't put my 3 drops of peppermint essential oil in it, but I shoulda, woulda, coulda. This is a healthy drink. Biases and stigma. Unfortunately, many Starbucks workers have reported biases and stigma from customers who disapprove of people using food stamps to buy Starbucks products. This can lead to uncomfortable interactions and feelings of shame or guilt. I'm not going to shame or guilt anyone. I'm just saying, for your health basis, let's do the best we can to make wiser decisions. EBT users, according to Reddit, a Starbucks worker reported that most of their coworkers who use food stamps tend to buy basic items like coffee beans or grounds rather than expensive drinks. This suggests that EBT benefits are often used for essential items rather than luxury treats, and I do not consider coffee beans or coffee grounds to be essential food items. Last point, Starbucks stance. It's worth noting that Starbucks has not publicly commented on its policy regarding food stamps or EBT benefits. However, the company has taken steps to increase accessibility and affordability for low income customers, such as offering a pay what you can program for customers who cannot afford full price. So that article took a little different turn than what I'd anticipated. But I think we get the point is that Starbucks employees are challenged and they have then gone on strike. Let's look at this topic of Trump Elon Musk alliance. I have been using Brave AI. I like the Brave browser. Anybody out there, if you're considering moving away from Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, the Brave browser is an excellent choice. It protects your privacy. Its AI search engine is really pretty good compared to the others. I tend to go to Brave first. If I only have time to do one AI search, I'm only going to use most likely it'll be Brave. But right now, we're going to go into what I talked about at the beginning of the show. And we're going to go into, and here, bear with me. Let me just double check, make sure. Anybody out there listening? I do have a very small audience today. Today's topic was corporate war against the middle class. And yeah, I have a very small audience. I don't know what the deal is, but it is what it is. It do what it do, and we do the best we can to deal with it. So this time I'm going to go to Microsoft Copilot for this AI inquiry. And I'm asking this inquiry. This deals with the Trump-Musk partnership that threatens to gut so many aspects of government responsibility. List 10 key points of why this is a threat to Americans. Okay, so Copilot puts you on task. I may ask that of a second search engine. Let's see what it comes up with, whether it's relevant or whether it's just whether it's just background noise. So I'm going to put that in a second search engine as well. Let's go to Copilot, and it says, here are 10 key points on why the Trump-Musk partnership could be a threat to Americans. Point 1, erosion of democratic institutions. Their influence could undermine democratic processes and institutions, leading to authoritarian governance. And I do agree with that point. It could have fleshed it out a little bit more, but yeah, there is a measure of authoritarianism in that collaboration between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Point 2, economic inequality. Policies favoring the wealthy could widen the gap between rich and poor. And we do know that the tax proposals and even the Trump-Musk alliance this week on delaying the budget extension for the U.S. government. According to this morning's news, the money Congress appropriated for running the federal government runs out tonight at midnight. And the Musk-Trump alliance is trying to throw stones on the roadway to an agreement that had previously been negotiated and reached. And apparently they're, well, I can actually pull that story up. It's fresh news, but let's read what the search engine returned. Point 3, environmental deregulation. Potential rollback of environmental protections could harm public health and accelerate climate change. Point 4, healthcare access. Cuts to government programs could reduce access to essential healthcare services. I'll be honest with you, I am not at all impressed with the essential healthcare services that this nation is delivering. I am far from impressed with that. We're going to get to that a little bit later today. Education funding, recent funding for public education could exacerbate educational disparities. In fact, the There have been proposals to tank the federal agency on public education. Workers' rights deregulation could weaken labor protections, affecting job security and working conditions. Social safety nets, number 7, dismantling social programs could leave vulnerable populations without necessary support. Number 8, technological control. Increased influence of big tech in government could lead to privacy violations and surveillance. Point number 9, foreign policy. Unilateral decisions could destabilize the international relations and security, and global trade threatens to be destabilized in the immediate aftermath of the Trump inauguration in January 2025, with proposed sanctions by executive order, increased sanctions against China, sanctions against Canada and Mexico, U.S.'s largest trading partners, and sanctions against some European Union manufactured and exported goods. Well, let me tell you that with all of those sanctions going on, you can better believe that the war against the dollar is going to ramp up like a monster, which makes the position of us workers inside the United States and the cash we're earning makes it very, very tenuous when the prices of everything imported increase dramatically. And when other countries, such as China, says, well, if they're going to increase these sanctions and restrictions, China says, we're going to go to other countries and set them up to compete against the United States. So China now moving deliberately into Brazil and other parts of South and Central America to grow the crops that they have been getting from the United States, such as pork, chickens, and soybeans. It's about to get crazy. You better believe it. And number 10, public trust. Erosion of trust in government institutions could lead to social unrest and division. Now, I had this inquiry about the Trump-Musk partnership. I want to go to, I'm going to come out of Microsoft Edge because I'm just not a big fan of Microsoft Edge. We're going to go over here to this particular one, and we're going to look for, got too many windows open. Bear with me. Let's look for the story about the Trump-Musk partnership. And we don't want to let let's just look for a news story about the Trump-Musk partnership. A few stories. One comes from CNN. I'm not going to read it. CNN is just limp-wristed. It's just not. It's not worth much anymore. Let's go to NPR. Not a big fan, but we'll take a look at it. This story from National Public Radio, and then there's another one from Investors Business Daily and Newsweek. And I'm gonna skip Investors Business Daily because I think it's probably gonna be biased. This from NPR story is entitled Apprehensive and Fearful, Federal Workers Await a Dismantling Under Trump. Now this is from November 13. I'll read just a little bit of this, but I want something a little more contemporary because Trump and Musk are in the news like yesterday and today. It's big news. The story, apprehensive and fearful federal workers await a dismantling under Trump. The story reads, President-elect Trump has vowed once again to, quote, drain the swamp, unquote. He tapped 2 billionaires, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, to help him, quote, dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies, unquote, through a commission Trump is calling the Department of Government Efficiency. In his failed run for president, Ramaswamy, who made his fortune in pharmaceuticals, spoke of cutting the federal workforce by 75%. Cutting the federal workforce by 75%, but he made his billions selling pharmaceutical drugs. I don't trust Vivek Ramaswamy because of that. In his failed Musk, who shrunk Twitter's workforce by 80% after his purchase, vowed in a statement that the effort will send shockwaves through the system. It remains unclear how much the two businessmen who Trump says will operate from outside the government will wield. One thing is clear. Unlike 8 years ago, Trump now has knowledge and experience to inform how he would carry out his agenda. Those realities, along with memories of his first time in office, have many federal workers on edge. People are apprehensive and fearful, says Nicole Cantello, an attorney with the Environmental Protection Agency, who now serves as a union president representing EPA workers in the upper Midwest. A plan to go after rogue bureaucrats. Roughly 2 million civilians work for the federal government. All over the country, they protect national security and public health. They ensure food is safe and veterans are cared for. The food is not safe. The veterans are not being cared for. And protecting national security, now, I don't know. Protecting public health, hell no. They're doing a very poor job of it. Among these 2 million, Trump insists are corrupt actors, plenty of them, who he wants to root out. At the tail end of his first term, Trump issued an executive order that created a new category of political appointees called Schedule F. His plan was to move an unknown number of career civil servants into this category, making it easier to fire them and replace them with loyalists. 2 days after President Biden assumed office, he reversed course, rescinding Schedule F. Donald Kettle, professor emeritus at the University of Maryland School of Public Policy, said he certainly will be back in the next Trump administration. This is something that they plan on doing in a relatively short order because they see Schedule F as a good idea and they waited too late to launch, says Kettle, who co-founded a working group focused on protecting and reforming the civil service. Earlier this year, the Federal Office of Personnel Management issued a rule to make it harder to convert career federal employees into political appointees who can be fired at will. So that's kind of what's going on there. I want to go back to this story once again. All right, let's go to this other story from Newsweek, dated November 21, 2024. Musk and Ramaswamy unveil plan to overhaul government. Writing on Twitter, here's a caption of one of the photos. Writing on Twitter, oh, that wasn't a photo, that was a video. I don't have time to write that video. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy aim to scrap thousands of regulations and reduce the size of the federal workforce through a new efficiency-focused government agency. On November 12, President-elect Donald Trump announced that the two entrepreneurs would lead the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, or DOGE, an agency he said would serve an advisory role to the White House and partner with the Office of Management and Budget to drive large-scale structural reform within the federal bureaucracy. In a Wednesday column for the Wall Street Journal, Musk and Ramaswamy wrote, quote, "The two of us will advise DOGE at every step to pursue three major kinds of reform: regulatory rescissions, administrative reductions, and cost savings. We will focus particularly on driving change through executive action based on existing legislation rather than by passing new laws." In essence, what they're talking about is authoritarianism, focused power under the president's executive order signature and removing responsibility away from the Senate and the House of Representatives. In other countries, they talk about this as being a coup, an authoritarian coup. But in America, they call it Department of Government Efficiency. Philip Wallach, a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, told Newsweek that while there was a clear demand to reduce wastefulness, he was unsure of Musk and Ramaswamy's ability to solve an issue that has dogged the federal government for decades. Well, what they say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So it could very well likely be, if this has dogged the federal government for decades and they can't solve it, could very well likely be the two billionaires may be able to put their levels of efficiency to work. All I can say is this is possibilities. I'm not siding with Elon Musk or Vivek Ramaswamy. I have my strong reasons to be in opposition to both of them. Elon Musk and his fascination with population control, and Vivek Ramaswamy making his billions selling pharmaceutical drugs at a time when the cost of drugs and healthcare is the chief source of family household bankruptcy. That's right. Let's continue. We are talking about a number of different things. I want to go back to my original document. We were talking about, we looked at Amazon worker strike. We looked at the Starbucks strike that took place last year and their Starbucks anti-union activities. We've been talking about the Trump-Musk-Ramaswamy partnership. Let me put his name in here. That threatens to gut many aspects of government responsibility for well-being. And now we can look at the murder of the United Healthcare CEO and the huge number of insurance claims rejections that people have experienced. This is a very serious topic here, and I did pull up research on this. And let me find where I put that research. And also, here is the topic and the subject we've been dealing with today. I just want to add this to the stage. Oh, no, this is something entirely different. I'll come to that in a little bit because we're talking about solutions to all of this. Where is, here we go. We are looking at, that's not the ones we're looking at. I'm specifically looking at the number of complaints. Did I pull these? Yeah, here we go. We're looking now at the outcome, the blowback, the aftermath of the alleged assassination, even though it looks like it's far from alleged. But, you know, there's been no conviction. And the jury may or may not convict Luigi Mangione of first-degree murder. They may charge him with manslaughter because of his abuse at the hands of United Healthcare, as United Healthcare now is being exposed at denying some 32% of claims made against it. That is an unbelievable amount of denials from the corporation. Meanwhile, the CEO who was murdered, Mark Thompson, his annual salary was over $10 million. That's obscene. The company profits over 22% per annum. That's obscene. While they were denying 1 out of 3 claims. Let's talk about some of these people who received denials. Today we're talking about, this is actually fitting into the chapter World War V, the People's Rebellion. Let's look at some of these denials. I just searched for and found a list of some of these denials. Emergency room denial. After a severe car accident, Sarah rushed to the emergency room. Despite her insurance covering emergencies, the claim was denied due to, quote, a pre-existing condition, unquote. Frustrated, she appealed, highlighting the urgency of her situation, but the insurer maintained their stance, leaving her with overwhelming medical bills after a car accident. Example number 2, surgery setback. John underwent a necessary surgery for a hernia, believing his insurance would cover it. However, the claim was denied because the procedure was deemed not medically necessary. John faced mounting debt and had to delay recovery, battling both his health and the insurance company's decision. Example number 3, prescription refusal. Maria was prescribed a new medicine for her chronic illness. 1 second. Maria was prescribed a new medication for her chronic illness. When her pharmacy submitted the claim, it was denied due to the insurer's policy on, quote, experimental treatments, unquote. Maria struggled to afford the medication out of pocket, forcing her to choose between financial stability and her health. Example number 4, physical therapy denial. After a sports injury, Tom's doctor recommended physical therapy. His insurance initially approved the sessions, but later denied the claim, citing a lack of documentation. Tom faced a lengthy appeals process, all while trying to recover, adding stress to an already challenging situation. And that points out that many times these claims are denied just wholesale. They have algorithms, AI algorithms, issue these denials. They don't even go before a real panel of humans with human feelings. AI algorithms deny them. And they're denying so many with the idea that most of the people won't try and try and try again. Most of the people don't have the resources to be able to continue to battle these huge healthcare insurance corporations. And one of the things that was exposed is that people who are retired and are on the federal Medicare system, that they have these Medicare Plan B option solicitations that are constant. They never stop. Only to find out that many of these Medicare Part B, which is a private insurance network, many of them, a huge number of them, are managed by United Healthcare, the largest provider. They may be under dozens, if not hundreds of different names, but they're United Healthcare, whose CEO, Mark Thompson, was just assassinated by Luigi Mangione. The people fight back. And in the book I'm writing, Disaster Preparedness for World Wars V and VI, leading up to World War I, I talk about the critical aspect of the assassination by an Armenian, I believe he was Armenian, refugee, the assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. That was the beginning of that World War. And it escalated very rapidly after that. I draw a parallel from World War I to World War V, which in the book I claim World War V is the corporate globalists elite, corporate globalist elite versus the workers' middle class. So in this particular incident, I draw an analogy between the assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand with the assassination of the CEO of United Healthcare, that the workers now realizing it's time to rebel, and that the privileged class, the corporate class, are not going to take such a threat lightly. They will kill thousands and thousands to one. They do it already without the people fighting back. In the United States, according to the numbers that I put in the book, Living Super in Paradise, in the United States, every year, 1 million, a minimum of 1,069,000 people die from iatrogenic cause, death by medicine. That's a shocking number. Between 251,000 and 400,000 people dying from medical errors in hospitalized situations, and another 200,000 die from medical errors in hospice situations or non-hospitalized other healthcare facilities. Death by medicine from medical errors in these cases, medical errors, let alone adverse drug reactions, let alone reactions to experimental mRNA injections. We can do better than that. Let's go forward. We're talking about these denials. We've gotten up to number 5, diagnostic test denial. Lisa needed a specialized diagnostic test to assess her symptoms. Her insurance denied the claim, stating it was, quote, not covered under her plan, unquote. Despite her doctor's insistence on its necessity, Lisa was left to navigate the complexities of insurance appeals while managing her health concerns. And of course, for most working class people, we just can't afford the legal fees for battling these corporations. We want to do better. We would love to think we could work with them for our health, which is what we pay them for, those of us who pay them. But they are about profits. United Healthcare was about maintaining and celebrating and rewarding its 22% profit margin that year. 22%. That's outrageous. Point 6, maternity care denial. Emily faced complications during her pregnancy and required additional monitoring. Her insurance denied coverage for the extra ultrasounds, labeling them as, quote, non-essential, unquote. This left Emily anxious about her baby's health and burdened with unexpected costs, forcing her to reconsider her insurance options for future pregnancies. And I do caution people about all of these vanity ultrasounds. Now, in this particular case, it's saying that Emily, the patient here being described, faced complications and required additional monitoring, which would be additional ultrasounds. That is a purported need, but for most people, these ultrasounds that are being done are not necessary to preserve the life of mother or baby because the complications are rare. And these vanity ultrasounds expose the baby to high amplitude, high frequency sound waves that are known to be detrimental, that have been associated, check the medical literature, with increased risk of learning disabilities, reading disabilities, and other conditions, which I can't mention because I am streaming on YouTube right now. Number 7, mental health treatment denial. After seeking help for anxiety, Mark's therapist recommended intensive outpatient treatment. The insurance company denied the claim, arguing it was, quote, not a covered service. Mark felt defeated, struggling to find affordable care while dealing with his mental health challenges, highlighting the gaps in insurance support. Number 8, surgery coverage. John underwent a necessary surgery for a chronic condition. His insurance company initially approved the procedure, but later retracted, claiming it was experimental. John provided extensive medical records from specialists, but the insurer upheld the denial, forcing him to seek financial help to cover the unexpected costs. And there's another of these denials, this one on mental health services. Maria sought treatment for anxiety and depression, attending therapy sessions regularly. After several months, her insurance company denied coverage for ongoing therapy, arguing it was not medically necessary. Maria felt disheartened, as the therapy was crucial for her well-being, leading her to explore alternative funding options. And of course, recognizing sometimes people can get on these things and expect the insurance company to just pay forever. It's like people with their dog in a grocery store and they say, well, this is my emotional support dog. People who need emotional support from their pets do need groceries. But personally, I do not think that any animals known to have parasites should be brought into grocery stores. What if I go into a grocery store with a deer? This is my emotional support deer. My emotional support rabbit, wolf. My emotional support giraffe. People think that their pets are their children. No, they are not your children. They're animals. I understand you're fond of your animal, you're bonded to your animal, all well and good. I don't want your animal with its potential to pollute the area around the food that I would buy. It's unnerving to me. But this is the society we're living in. A generation or two ago, the idea of bringing your pet inside the grocery store, you could bring him in if you were blind. When they started making the pets wear these I am an emotional support pet vest, that's acceptable. But now people just carry their pet in there. Don't get me started. They're putting them in the basket, the back of the basket, where other people would put their children. Personally, I kind of get offended when people have their children that are 2, 3, 4 years old standing up with their shoes on in the shopping carts, because their shoes are contaminated with what's on the ground. But that's me. I'm a little paranoid about hygiene. Number 10, prescription medicine. Tom was prescribed a new medicine for his diabetes, which his doctor deemed essential. However, the insurance company denied the claim, suggesting a cheaper alternative that was ineffective for him. Tom appealed the decision, providing evidence of the medication's necessity, but faced significant delays and stress. Of course, many of these medications that people are on are ineffective. They're dangerous. They have numerous side effects, but they still keep prescribing them, and insurance companies still keep paying for many of these medications. In the book, Living Superfood Solutions, that just came out, I have one chapter on Living Superfood Solutions and cancer. I think it was in that book. And I listed all of the medications for cancer that are suspected of causing cancer. And it was a long, all the prescription drugs, many of which were medications for cancer, were causing secondary cancers. But all of the drugs that were associated with the increase in the risk of cancer, there's a huge number of them, of which the insurance companies and the hospitals do administer and pay for these drugs. Preventive screening. Number 11, Lisa scheduled a routine mammogram, which her doctor recommended. I don't recommend it. We don't recommend it. We recommend women who use mammograms switch to thermograms. Much safer, much safer. They don't radiate and squeeze and abuse, stress the breast. Thermogram just looks at temperature fluctuations to be able to determine these patterns where cancer malignancy might be changing the structure of the breast. Thermogram. Look it up. Please do look it up. Verify everything I say before you take it as medical advice. Please do. The insurance company denied Lisa's claim, stating it was not covered under her plan. Lisa was shocked as she believes preventive care was essential. After extensive communication, she learned of a loophole that allowed her to appeal successfully. Physical therapy. This may be the same story as earlier, talking about a car accident. I think, no, this is a different story because the other one was a female. After a car accident, Mike required physical therapy to recover. His insurance initially approved the sessions, but later denied coverage for additional treatments, claiming he had reached the maximum improvement, unquote. Mike contested this, presenting documentation from his therapist, but the process was lengthy and exhausting, delaying his recovery. And number 13, the last example of this, child's treatment. Emily's son needed a specialized treatment for a rare condition. The insurance company denied the claim, labeling the treatment as, quote, not medically necessary, unquote. Emily fought back with letters from multiple doctors advocating for her son's care. After months of appeals, the insurer finally reversed this decision, but only after significant stress. So those are a number of examples of this war against the healthcare corporations that's becoming more of a global contest, but is specifically very hot in the United States, which does not have a public healthcare finance system for every citizen. You got to negotiate it out between yourself, your insurance company, your work, your employer, and the healthcare institutions. That's too much. And they know it's too much, which is why they obfuscate, why they deny, and deny, why they lock so many people out of the system so that they cannot participate. I'm going to talk about a different strategy, though. What if the people focus on prevention? What if the people got serious about saying, I'm taking my body out of the system, and I'm taking primary responsibility for my own health care? Well, that's what I do. That's what I teach. That's what I organize. Today, as I speak, we have a group together, and this group is working on this specific process of a 56-day stem cell rejuvenation protocol. And here's one of the panels from an extensive PowerPoint I've put together. I've been working on the PowerPoint just this morning as well. It's very, very comprehensive, and I'm only going to just show you just a tiny bit of it because it is proprietary information for which you need to join the class, and I'll teach you this. What you will learn in the lesson today, this day: when can natural stem cell rejuvenation therapy be helpful for you? We listed as I recall, the list was about 25 to 28 different diseases and disorders, and I'm constantly finding new ones every day. Point 2, for example, we show an example in the PowerPoint of stem cell vision therapy options. Point 3, living superfood solutions, which the stem cell options that are available out there cost anywhere between $5,000 and $2.1 million, depending on the therapy, its link, if it's needed to be added to genetic engineering, how many sessions are needed. One specific example, I was talking with a good friend of mine. I'm hoping he's going to come forward and say, hey, listen, man, let's do this thing. Who he's now planning on several months from now, hip replacement surgery. Well, guess what? If your hip replacement surgery is 3 months away, I would recommend you try this particular protocol that I am developing on stem cell, natural, holistic stem cell development. No injections, no extractions, no test tubes. It's all done by body's own natural processes, evolved processes. And if you have this surgery scheduled for 3 months away, give this therapy a chance. And I bet you after 2 weeks, you're going to start to see improvement. And the other thing about it is you can do this expensive hip replacement surgery, which in the US costs $26,000 and up. You can do that expensive surgery. No, I say more than that. But that's no guarantee that 6 months later, the next hip will have the same problem, or your knee joints will have the same problem, or other ball joints around your problem, around your body will have the same, your shoulders, the same surgery. But if you do it from within with a systemic epigenetic approach, you're preventing these deterioration of these joints all over the body at a fraction of the cost, a tiny fraction of the cost. What you will learn is number 4, rejuvenating the body's stem cell proliferation. There's stem cell rejuvenation, proliferation, activation, and differentiation. We have to work on all 4 of them using nature's own internal mechanisms. Number 5, the awesome benefits of a 3-day water fast. And in this course, I'm teaching 5 different fasting methods, all known, all proven to contribute to bioregeneration, which is about stem cell activity. Point 6, supplements and herbs for stem cell function. I know I have the longest, most comprehensive list of supplements and herbs that's ever been published that specifically address stem cell. I have a whole bunch of peer review articles, and the peer review articles, if they talk about 3 herbs and supplements or more, that's very rare. Most of the time they'll talk about 1 or 2 supplements and herbs, and that's what the study is about. And that's the way studies are conducted. We talk about what is in our 56-day stem cell rejuvenation program. It's got a lot of components to it. Then I compare the costs of stem cell therapy so you can get the maximum benefits for your investment. And right now, I think I want to just show you that right now, because we're talking about competing against these systems, these matrices. And these matrices are really quite damaging. I want to go to this cost benefit factor. Bear with me. I'm going through the entire PowerPoint presentation. Here's what is the average cost of stem cell therapy. Stem cell therapy cost range based upon search results. The cost range for stem cell therapy varies widely depending on several factors, such as the types of stem cells used. They can be autologous, meaning they come from your body, allogenic, meaning they come from someone else's body, umbilical cord derived, bone marrow derived, adipose tissue derived. Treatment location, the cost varies if you're doing it in the US, Japan, Germany, China, South Korea, or Panama. The medical condition being treated, the number of sessions per treatment or treatment required. They got one that has a one-time treatment, and it's $2.1 million. The quality and source of stem cells, clinic or laboratory experience. Here is a summary of the cost ranges of available stem cell therapies. $4,000 to $8,000 for single treatment, non-surgical orthopedic. That's in the US. $5,000 to $50,000 Average cost range, United States, 15,000 to 45,000. Culturally expanded cells, United States, $25,000. IRB approved mesenchymal stem cell protocol, United States, $300 to $2,300. That's for private cord blood banking, collecting and storage fees. So that's collecting stem cells from umbilical cord and freezing them. 1,300 to 8,000 for a single treatment, depending on the clinical picture. 5,000 to 15,000 for autologous stem cells in the United States. Now, autologous stem cells, they take these stem cells out of your body, they culture them, and then put them back into your body. Don't you know your body was doing that already? Every minute as I'm talking, my body creates 300 million new cells inside the body. That is the consequence of stem cell activity. 300 million a minute. That's 3.81 million new cells per second. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? The body designed this amazing machine. We have 5,000 to 15,000 for autologous stem cells and 20,000 to over 50,000 for multiple sclerosis or ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, depending on protocol and clinic. Sickle cell disease can range from $100,000 to $300,000 or more. And in the panel on the right, Zolgensma, a gene therapy for spinal muscular atrophy, SMA, involves the use of a viral vector to deliver a functional copy of the SMN1 gene to patients. At $2.1 to $2.9 million, Zolgensma is one of the most expensive one-time therapies in the world. Meanwhile, those of you who have been with me on this protocol, this is day 20 of this protocol, and I tell you, it is fantastic. It feels fantastic. Get the maximum benefits for your investment, single payment to join this class, which doesn't include the cost of the supplements, the food, and if you have to have a blender and you have to have these other tools to, you have to have a healthy kitchen. And you have to order your supplements. I show you how to get the supplements. Every day I put up new supplements. Today we focused on 2 supplements. I put up these 2 supplements. I'll explain what they mean to you. The 2 supplements I focused on today, and I see you in the house, Brother Kwame Reggie. I'm going to read your comment here in just a second. The 2 supplements we focus on, nicotinamide and pyridoxine, vitamin B6, play crucial roles in muscle stem cell biology, particularly in enhancing regenerative capacity during aging. NAM, a form of vitamin B3, boosts cellular NAD levels, promoting energy, metabolism, and cellular repair mechanisms. And it goes on. This is the group. This is the research. So you join this group. You could join, and we're going to do the group again, launch it February 1. So get ready, people. This will make your New Year's resolution go through the roof. Wouldn't it be nice if you can engage in a 56-day coached protocol that reduced your biological aging by anywhere from 10 to 30 years? You're younger now. You don't believe that? Well, let me just share with you what Reggie wrote. And Reggie just wrote this today. I haven't read it yet, but Reggie's always writing great things. Wow, Baba Kitty, the MSC YouTube video you posted was powerful. I took away some key points. Point 1, stem cell therapy is a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's true. Point 2, mesenchymal stem cells, MSC, in adults become depleted quantity and quality as we age, which is why your stem cell program is of vital importance because it focuses on revitalizing and renewing these cells through nutrition, thus the fountain of youth. And point three, it was mentioned that inflammation is the base cause of everything in our bodies, even aging. Wow. Again, the majority of the foods in your program are anti-inflammatory, stem cell rejuvenation. And let me just repeat to the brother, whoop, there it is. Yeah. You've got this, man. You got it. Brother Ken in the group, he says, curious as to why I feel sleepy at 11:51 p.m. today. That should be a.m. p.m. is when we go to bed. Second round interview being rescheduled. Awaiting details in email. I would say 11:51 p.m. question mark. That's when I'm supposed to be in bed. So, and let me just double check. I'm getting a note from my brother Dawoodi. Let me just share with you, since you're not talking to, since you're not talking to me today in the broadcast, I'm going to talk to my clients who are in the classes. Brother Dawoodi, Brother Keeti, today I have a doctor appointment, so I'm settling in the waiting room, looking at so many sick people, they don't have a clue. I will be in Vegas the end of April, the beginning of May. I need your help to get off their pills. This is what I am taking: thyroid medication, and give me the pill names, heart medication, number 1, number 2, a blood thinner, and food, which foods. I'll be in Vegas for a few weeks so you can hang out for a while. And I will say, let's plan on you staying with me for clinical nutrition during this time in Las Vegas. And that's my brother Dawoodi, brother for life, undeniably so. So okay, so coming out of that, because I don't want to get distracted by that. So get the maximum bang for your buck. And you can go to CoachKeeti.com. And that's not an HTTPS, that's an HTTP. I have to correct that panel. HTTP CoachKeeti.com. Let me just put up that link so you can have access to it. HTTP Coach, COACH, Keeti.com. And you can join our group. And I highly recommend, if you don't mind, that you do consider joining us. Let me just close this panel and come back over here to the StreamYard. And I highly recommend, bear with me, it's clogging up, choking up right now, and I won't be able to access that. But I highly recommend people put a protocol in place. Fight back. Fight back. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are coming after the middle class, the government working for the middle class with more tax cuts for the billionaire class. And they're talking about tax cuts for people on tips and a couple of other low level, not really much revenue from, come on, there's not much revenue from people with tips. It's just a political ploy to make it sound like we care about the working class. They don't give a about the working class. The corporations, the healthcare corporations, they are showing their true colors, and people are in serious revolt. I do not recommend any acts of violence. People, violence only begets more violence. Violence does not solve any problems, never has, and never will. Violence only trickles down and expands itself, and younger generations growing up thinking that organized violence is a responsible thing to do. It's a horribly irresponsible thing to do, and you and I know that. We got to do a better job of teaching our children what we know. We are in resistance. The people are fighting back. We are also, here at LIB Radio, we are in fund drive mode. And I highly, highly recommend that people get ready for fund drive mode. Okay, so here is the link in case you want to set up for your consultation. I highly recommend. I'm going to put the link up here on Facebook. Corporate War Against the Middle Class. I put the link underneath that one where you can sign up to get your one-on-one free 15-minute, just a preview of how the living superfood system can be applied for your specific critical needs to maintain optimal health. It's a good idea. Why don't we do it? Why don't more and more of us come up with methodologies of keeping our bodies out of the system? Why don't more and more of us find ways to collaborate and cooperate? I'm not going to spend a dime, not even 10 cents at Starbucks all this winter, all season. Never, not a dime. I haven't spent a dime at Starbucks for at least the last 4 years. With Amazon, it's a little harder to stay away from Amazon because Amazon printing my books. In fact, later today, I'm expecting a just updated copy because I got the first copy last week of my new book, Living Superfood Solutions, only to realize at page 115, I repeated what was on page 113. And quite simply, I can't have that out there. It wasn't bad. Most people would not catch it, but I caught it because I had to read the book like 8 times and just didn't realize it until I had the hard copy. And I'm reading through the hard copy and I say, wait a minute, isn't that the same thing I said just a few pages ago? And it was the same thing, and it was exactly the same thing. And what happened when I was originally doing the research chapter by chapter that became the book, I was doing that in Microsoft Text, and then I would copy, cut, and paste my notes from that day's broadcast over here. And what happened was I pasted the same set of notes from 2 different search inquiries, and that's why it appeared twice. And that was specifically on, in case you got the book, I'm going to admit it was on the topic of, it's an autoimmune solutions. The chapter is entitled Vitiligo as an Autoimmune Disorder. Now, here's the thing. If you use the vitiligo autoimmune disorder treatment, all of the autoimmune disorder treatments will respond to this. But this was specific about vitiligo because I had a section called T-cell mediated, that's the base of autoimmune disease, T-cell mediated melanocyte destruction. Melanocyte destruction relates specifically to vitiligo. And so I had these following points and I repeated them. I'm not going to give you the details, just the points. And this is how sophisticated we are with our research at this point. Chimeric antigen receptor T lymphocytes, point 1. Point 2, blocking the IL interleukin 15 receptor. Point 3, targeted therapy using chimeric antigen receptor. Number 4, immunosuppressive treatments. That's dealing with immunosuppression. That's either autoimmune chemotherapies, or if you have a heart transplant or organ transplant, they will give you immunosuppressant treatments. So I talk about that. Melanocyte-specific cytotoxic T cell targeting, that's the specific process by which melanocytes are targeted by the aggressive T sites, the T cell mediated destruction. Skin grafting and modulating T cell responses, meaning using epigenetic factors to modulate or control the T cell responses. That's essentially our mechanism for eliminating the impact of autoimmune disorders. So that was on page 111. And then a few pages later, on page 118, I had the same list, and it was slightly different, but almost exactly the same. No, I had the same points. Chimeric antigen receptor T lymphocytes, blocking interleukin-15 receptor, targeted therapy, immunosuppressive treatments, modulating T cell responses, and melanocyte-specific cytotoxic T cell targeting. I repeated that group 2 times, one on page 111 and one on page 119. And quite simply, Keely, I had to go back and decide which of those was more appropriately replaced and remove the other one. And I did it. And then I'll go into stem cell therapies for melanocyte preservation. And that is now very specific protocol for getting a solution, nutrition-based solution for vitiligo. I'm asking you, do you know of anyone else that's put together a natural, non-interventionist solution for vitiligo? I have one dear friend who's diagnosed with, who has been dealing with vitiligo. He used to come to our dinners, and he really got enthusiastic about the living superfood lifestyle and started doing it on his own. He was driving to our dinners here in Las Vegas from Los Angeles. And I miss you, Brother Jerome. I'm going to tell you to come back, man. But one time he came back after he had started living superfood on his own, and he pointed to these vitiligo patches, and he said, look right in the middle of that. See the dark skin growing? He said, that's now that I'm using living superfood. He was seeing the dark skin coming back in. Now I know what I know. And that was evidence of the melanocyte restoration. Now, I used to have on my arms white patches. In fact, I see some white patches right now. It's probably due to the winter weather. In fact, as I'm rubbing it, they're disappearing. So it has to deal with the fact that I'm wearing thermal underwear underneath my sweater, just blood being pushed away. But I used to notice these white patches, little white spots, start appearing as I was maturing beyond my 50s. And those were melanocyte destruction, melanocyte malfunction. Now they've gone away. Now I have a protocol of stem cell recovery, and you can't see any. I'm rolling my arms. I can't see any. I see one tiny little one, but you wouldn't even notice it if you weren't looking for it. And that's melanocyte destruction. That's what vitiligo is. But vitiligo is much more widespread. There's a lot of details to it, such as the density of melanocytes per square millimeter, per square centimeter. And once you understand the density of melanocytes, they're very, very dense per square centimeter, that's about this big, per square centimeter, our body has between 100,000 and 200,000 melanocytes. And even for people who are not dark skinned, just as me, black as midnight, they still have that density of melanocytes because that's part of our body. The epidural layer, it's just that the impact of the sun, solar ultraviolet B radiation activates the degree to which these melanocytes produce melanin to absorb the solar radiation. It's pretty amazing. That's how complex the human body is. I hope I'm not boring you. I still haven't, no one even said hello to me today. Of all of the people who listen to us on Rumble, it's amazing that no one has said hello today. What's up with that? What's up with that? It's hard for me to tell. I do know one thing. We're in this love together. We got the kind that lasts forever. So sang Al Jarreau. Oh man, we all miss Al Jarreau. What a beautiful, beautiful human being he always has been. We are continuing our LIB Radio Fund Drive. And why is StreamYard? Did they change something? Looking for comments. Oh, I do see Desi Whaley in the house. Sorry about that. There was another button I had to push. Desi Whaley, bless. I was telling my friend, if everyone stops using Amazon for one day, we could help them make demands. I agree. So today, tomorrow, other than using Amazon to get the books that they print, Amazon does own KDP Print on Demand, and I use them to print my books. I have several new books. One just come out. But I agree with you. Just insofar as consuming on Amazon, I'm using Amazon to compare prices. I used it, I think today or yesterday, to grab some pictures of products that I want my stem cell class to begin using these type of products. I only needed Amazon for the pictures. I would prefer you get these products from places like VitaCost and others, or your local health food store is an excellent place to invest. Desi says they need unions in the South, but nobody wants to pay for it. They don't understand unions do serve a purpose. You make an excellent point. Superb, excellent points. Excellent point. And I would say this much. People don't want to pay for the unions, but the people will pay for the things that are making these billionaires so wealthy and so powerful. They will pay for insurance that denies them coverage. They don't intend to pay for insurance that denies them coverage. They don't find out the insurance companies deny them coverage until they go to file a claim for something that they believe their insurance company promised to pay for. You make an excellent point. I do highly recommend people come up with a strategy. And Desi, let me just say, Desi, I see you. Sarabuna, Sawabuna, S-A-W-A-B, Sawabuna. Yeah, Sawabuna. I see you. Enough respect. And I didn't want to do that. I did want to do this. I see you. There we go. Sawabona. So we're going to begin to wrap it up today. To the Rumble family, can at least, even if you're not talking to me, can you at least hit the like button? One person hit the like button. Two people hit the like button. You can do better than that. We can do better than that. We are continuing, and we're continuing our LIB Radio month-long fund drive. We encourage people to be a supporter. We did real well over many years broadcasting on YouTube, but when the pandemic arises, YouTube set up a censorship process at the behest of the national security regime, and we got squeezed out, defunded. 1,600 plus videos, maybe 2,000 videos from 16 years of broadcast were up there on that site, and they all disappeared from broadcasting on the net. Yeah, they do. People tell me they do search engines and they see me link to a video, and that video, they click on it. This video has been removed. I have those videos. I save them all. I store them all on hard drives. But we're still uploading a minimum of 6 videos a week. Actually, I'm doing one more, but that's private. That's for our classroom sessions. Tomorrow begins a new class, the Winter Solstice Detoxification Protocol. The Winter Solstice Detoxification is 21-day guided detox. And it's really quite amazing. And let me just see if I can find that link. Living Superfood. Oh, and I have the new book. Here's the Winter Solstice right here. This is the description. Winter Solstice. We have this 21-day detox fast begins tomorrow, the 21st of December. Then benefits include several books are included, including Living Superfood Research, Living Superfood Longevity, and a digital copy of Transforming Soul Food. You will learn the immense benefits of seasonal detoxification. I will teach you the difference between the 5 different fasts, at least 5. The Fruitarian fast, 24-hour water fast, 72-hour water fast, intermittent fasting, and the 24-hour dry fast. That's the one I've just started doing research on, and I think that it appears to be quite useful. 24-hour dry fast. That's no water at all for 4 hours. I'll tell you, in fact, I have that in the presentation I put up for a PowerPoint. That's for my class. You will learn about, let's see, intermittent, 24-hour, 72-hour dry fast, and fruitarian. And these are all powerful, very powerful. Every one of them shown to be beneficial. You will learn about activation of stem cell proliferation. Now, I have to add that to the detox class. The best anti-aging and detoxing supplements and herbs. Weight loss during your detox fast. You will lose weight if you follow the protocol at all. If you start on day 1, because some people procrastinate and don't start until, I've had people not start until the 2nd week was done of a 3-week fast, and everyone else is talking about all the weight they're losing and how happy and healthy and vital and energetic they feel, and the other person's talking about, well, I'm waiting on you to do this. Don't wait on me. I started this before you even joined. And other people who are receiving the same information are getting phenomenal results. Don't blame it on me because you procrastinate. Part of the detox fasting is reinforcing our willpower, a power of mind over body over circumstance. And then you're going to blame other people because you won't start? Come on, people. That's unacceptable behavior, and you know it is. We'll talk about switching your blood from acidic to alkaline, so very important. We talk about rejuvenation and revitalization on a cellular level. That's what's called bioregeneration. Bio, B-I-O. Regeneration. That's what that's called. Rejuvenating and revitalizing on a cellular level. We'll talk about how to apply the 7 principles of optimal health, of which detoxing is one. Synchronizing your pineal gland to earth seasons, very important, which is why the first day of the new season change, that's why we immediately go into a 21-day group detox. Myself, I go into a 28-day detoxification program. This one coincides with a 56-day stem cell rejuvenation. So on day 21 of the 56-day program, I switch in my 28-day program in the middle of that. When I come out of this detox process, it's going to be from December 1st to January. It'll be about January 28th. When I come out of this 56-day stem cell rejuvenation protocol, I'm going to be a beast. Already, I am beast. And I've gotten back up because I took a couple of days because I was working around the house. I took a couple of days off my push-up protocol. But as of day before yesterday, I got back on it. As of yesterday, I'm back in beast mode with my first session. It's not up to 300 yet again, but I am doing 225. I was up to 325 a week or so ago, but you got busy having to do the garage and then trim bushes and things out in the yard. And that's really, really hard and exhausting work, especially being out there in the yard for 4 hours trimming a bush that was full of inch-long thorns. That was work. For Africa One, I see you in the house. Hatep, Brother Gideon, Global LB family, held up by the ho, ho, ho season. Well, keep your hope alive. Rather than being held up, hindered, we are held up, buoyed by the seasons. And tomorrow begins the winter solstice. Tomorrow, our focus on LIB Radio also begins to complement the 12-day commemoration that we call Koras Ma'at Kwanzaa, where we combine the 7 days of Kwanzaa along with the 5 days of the ancient Egyptian ritual of Koras Ma'at, celebrating the rebirth of the sun from the perspective of my priesthood in the Sacred Order of the Sons of Ra Ministries. Yes, we have a real ordained ministry, priesthood. I am a practicing priest, Keper Ra. And we will be celebrating Koras Ma'at Kwanzaa as an extended ceremony that goes way beyond just a ceremony for African Americans called Kwanzaa, but a truly global ceremony, the Koras Christ Ma'at, the celebration of Asar, Aset, Heru, Set, and Ma'at, all become very, very important. And that's who we are. That's what we do. Last point I'll make, get the book. The new book is out. Living Superfood Solutions, Dietary Strategies that Prevent and Reverse Common Chronic Diseases. And as see, it's not, oh, there it is, showing up on the chroma key. And it's a good book. It really is. It's a thick one. It's got some substance to it. This one is 300 pages. How much is it? Just less than 300 pages, about 280 something pages. And the first of 3 that are in the pipeline, the second one, I've gotten it up to about 240 pages now. I'm still adding to it. Today's program actually added to it as I am expanding this fight back. The people battling back against the corporations, that's contributing to chapter 5 or the chapter on World War V, while at the same time, after I finish defining the 6 world wars, including the war of NATO Western Alliance versus BRICS Plus Alliance, that's the chapter on World War VI, and that one is ramping up. Unfortunately, it's ramping up. I had to add a chapter on the pursuit of greater Israel, had to add that at the last moment. Is that clarified in my mind, this pursuit of greater Israel, where Israel is attempting to replicate as much as possible the Ottoman Empire, which was an Islamic empire. Now the Israeli greater Israel is an attempt to steal the thunder and replicate the Ottoman Empire, including claiming land in Africa all the way from the northeastern sector through the Nile River. And the Nile River goes not only through Egypt, but goes through Sudan it branches into Ethiopia, where the Israelis have tried to make a claim by bringing in what they call falashas, we call the Habaru. of Ethiopia. And now it appears that they want to try and go up the Nile into Uganda again. People, this has got to be stopped. It's got to be stopped. Greater Israel, the ultimate Zionist fantasy, has got to be stopped. This huge refugee crisis caused by the disruption of Western Asia, so-called Middle East, because of the Balfour Declaration and all of that, that's got to be stopped. It's too destructive. The genocide against the Palestinians has got to be stopped. And yeah, I understand those algorithms for the big corporations don't like it when you and I talk about changing the course of history to better serve the natural evolution of the family and of generations, make it sustainable. But it's the truth. We speak the truth, and only the truth can truly set us free. So the book is out. Here's where you can get the paperback book. And you can also get an instant download. Let me put up this link. The book is called Living Superfood Solutions. And you can get the book. I see you in house. Brother William is checking in with us on YouTube, which we got banned last week, and we're back again from that banishment. And they may ban us again today. I do what I do. William, you know what I do. He says, good morning, Brother Keaty. He said, there is a move to expel America from the UN. Then U.S. can be sought after and charged with crimes. Yeah, they'll go to DEFCON 4 or 5 before they get resisted like that. But great to have you in the house. Get the book, the new book, Living Superfood Solutions. There's the link for our YouTube family. We encourage you to step forward. Do your best to do your best. We're always going to do our best. We're always going to strive to do even better. That's who we are. That's what's expected of us. And we do respond very positively to the best of our abilities to good words, good speech, to expectations that we will be doing better, that we will be accomplishing great things. So the book is there. It's available now. People are buying it. Amazon sales are starting to pick up. I'm so glad of that because my Amazon sales had fallen 2 months ago to the lowest level in 5 years or more. And then 1 month ago, they fell even lower. And today, as of this morning, I noticed that my Amazon sales have finally caught up with the 2 months ago level. I still have 11 days till the end of the month to get my sales back up to a respectable place so that I can build, so we can grow, so we can take on the challenges of the world, including these challenges of these insurance companies denying so many people. Well, let's imagine that we can do better than that. You've been tuned into your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a good day. It's going to be an even greater day as you take what you learned today to heart, as you take it into the places where you rebel, where you are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. And that's why you tune in to LIB Radio, LIB TV. That's why you tune in to livinginblack.com. So tell your friends to tell their friends. We have our own now. And you know something? Ours is very powerful because we are truly a good people with good intention. On your favorite We aim to be your favorite LIB radio, LIBG at livinginblack.com. Peace, y'all.